having some buggy little issues lately. But today we are joined by Natasha Nicholes of House of Nicholes, and also WeSowWeGrow, a really cool urban farming collective, and Jen Padalecki, entrepreneur, sustainability hobbyist turned pro. And
one day at a time.
Yeah, exactly. But it would be great if you guys could each talk about yourselves and just let us know what you're up to these days. Natasha, if you go first, that'd be awesome.
Sure. I am a Chicago born and bred and proud member of the city who has been farming since 2015. And I am the executive director of the WeSowWeGrow project, which is an educational gardening farming project that we do with citizens around the world, while also offering a place for folks on the south side, the far south side of Chicago, to come for fresh produce and to learn about growing their own food in their backyard. So we make sure that people are very comfortable growing their own food while also providing a resource for those who either don't have space or who live in areas where fresh produce isn't available.
I love it. And can you just show us your shirt for just a half second, because it's my favorite?
Oh, my dirty by nature shirt. I know I'm probably so flipped. I'm probably flipped, but this is our homage to Naughty by Nature. And we get dirty by nature on our farm, and we invite other folks to get dirty by nature with us.
Look how pretty your farm is. That's just so awesome.
Thank you.
It's so gorgeous.
Good.
And you see my husband walking around in the back, the fine piece of man meat that he is.
That's good. Objectify your partner for sure.
I love it.
Jen, why don't you tell us about yourselves? Everybody here is probably has watched Wildfire and Supernatural, but tell us about you.
Well, I wish that my man meat was in the backdrop. But you know, he doesn't have the green thumb, and he comes in here and he eats all the vegetables before I even have time to bring it in. I am a hobbyist gardener. I run a blog called Now and Jen, which is just a lifestyle blog, and taking more of a green turn and green spin, because that's really where my passion lies, in figuring out ways in which we can make a better footprint for the world that we live in, and a greener footprint. One of those ways for me was gardening. I've always had a love and appreciation for the outdoors. I do not have a green thumb. Do as I say, not as I do, because I feel like I kill more plants than I grow sometimes. But I'm really inspired by the idea of being independent and self-reliant, and being able to grow your own food and understand where your food comes from, and that process from seed to plate, and knowing all of what goes into your garden, and I have a lot of respect for farmers and for the food that we eat, and it's been educational and fun, and I realized that no matter what, I think I've been doing this now for maybe 4 years, and I feel like I'm just as green as I was 4 years ago, because it's constantly a work in progress, I feel like.
Yeah, totally. Nice pun, by the way. I caught that, just so we're clear that you're green at this. Yep. I guess, Natasha, why gardening? Why farming? What is that? What is it giving you? Why all of this?
It keeps me from physically hurting people.
Yes.
That's actually honestly the main reason that I do it. And when my husband and we built our home from the ground up, and when we decided which neighborhood we were moving in, we purposely moved into a neighborhood where we could be some source of change with the community, not against it at all. And the neighborhood that we're in has a lot of empty lots, and we wanted to beautify one of the lots while also meeting all of our neighbors and making ourselves useful in the neighborhood, instead of feeling like we were improving something that someone else did. It was, we were improving our living area and our living space. And since we started in 2015, we've met a whole lot of people who now not only look out for the space, but they've taken ownership of it as well, which is what we wanted folks to do. And they are as invested in it as we are. So we got chickens in 2015, and then all of a sudden chickens started popping up in the neighborhood. And you now see little chicken groups walking around. And I often get a phone call asking if my chickens are out. And if they are, we get a photo. And I'm like, oh no, that's so-and-so's. They'll go back home after they're done. So it's a way to have established community and get back to that feeling that, I don't know if you all had, I'm dating myself, but when I was younger, everybody knew everybody on their block. And the kids could interact and go into other people's homes, and your neighbors looked out for your children, you looked out for their children, and we wanted something like that again. And we started with something that I didn't have to push in people's faces. They could come and ask me questions, and it was totally on them whether or not we connected. And it's grown from there, which is pretty awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah, I have a friend that helps run up in Portland area in Oregon, a Black farming collective for families. What's to you in that communal space and sort of building out, what do you think that sort of poses for the Black community or Black people in general in this country, given that there are food deserts and areas where access to vegetables or even farming is sort of nil?
Well, I think it poses the same thing that it would pose for any other community, be it Black, white, Hispanic, Native American. There are a lot of communities that money from the cities that they live in aren't funneled into, and people have become, I don't want to use the word apathetic, but they've kind of become disenfranchised with their government. And they figure that no matter how much talking they do, nothing will ever change. We're looking to change that and to show that you can still do things within your community and still be that squeaky wheel. Like, it's our responsibility as community members to hold our government to a higher standard, and because they're public servants. So if we're not getting what we need, then we're going to be loud on the horn with it. And I don't mind being that very loud person. It's my birth order. I'm an oldest child, so I'm used to complaining a lot, and wearing people down with my sheer will and stubbornness. And I also had the privilege of being able to attend and be in spaces where I know how to do it and kind of navigate that space, because everybody doesn't know how to do it. So we've gotten some stuff to change within the neighborhood, and I'm proud of that, but we still have a lot of work to do. And I want to empower other people who've been in this community longer than I have, to kind of evoke that voice and be the leadership without, having somebody new come in and do it all the time. Because that can be annoying, when somebody brand new moves into your neighborhood and then all of a sudden they take over everything. Yeah, that's not always the business. So we want folks who've been here for 40, 50 years to teach us and share their information, and then we can move together.
It's fantastic. And Jen, for you, 4 years ago, quarantine's happening, you got kids everywhere, you've got several kids, which is awesome. They're all awesome.
All four of them.
All four of those little people. And so do you bring them into the garden? How do you what are the lessons you're trying to teach the kids?
Yeah, for me, I feel like everything is so instant gratification, including our food. If someone is hungry, it's easy to just, go somewhere quick and convenient, order something, whatever it is, which there's nothing wrong with that by any means. I just really wanted my children to understand the process and respect the food. We were dealing with a lot of food waste and that sort of thing. Or, early on, when I first had my first son, I was traveling a lot because my husband works in Vancouver. And so we travel back and forth and do conventions, and, and we got to a point where he'd pick up a phone and go, "Pancakes, please." And I don't think he realized that that's just not how the world works. And so it was really important to me to provide that independence for them and feel proud of where the food comes from and appreciate it. It's not always easy. There's sometimes where they get, bored out of it. out of their minds with it because it becomes a chore at times. But I will say, like, the process from the start to the finish, where you go and you pick out seeds, whether they will grow or they won't grow, it's the process of like sourcing out the food that they want and then being able to be a part of that process and then watching it grow and nurturing it. One of my sons, Chet, loves to come out and sing to the plants, which I also think is just really cool and sweet. And it also just goes back to nurturing, you know, you get what you put into it. And I do feel like those plants taste a little sweeter. But I think it's really important to have that connection. And that's really has always been something that's really important to me. And to get back to grassroots, you know, a lot of what Natasha's talking about too, about the community aspect. There's something so communal with food. It's funny, I did this Zoom call with an author, Brian Washington, and one of the things that he mentioned in his writing was this commerce of food and the exchange of food. And it's something that has like a monetary connotation too, but it's a communal one. And, you know, here in Texas, at least, it's this thing when a new neighbor moves in, you go and you bring food, you bring a pie. Lately, it's for me been eggs, you know, like, oh, I got some eggs, got some fresh eggs, you know, and then you share what you make with them. And there's something really wonderful about food that really brings people together, and being able to, I don't know, have that independence about it and being in charge of it. And maybe that's the control freak in me. But it's just a really special thing. And I want my children to have that same self-reliance and independence and appreciation ultimately.
Well, we're going to get into the brass tacks of gardening and farming, because the challenge that we're putting out for Gishers is going to be centered around that, is upcycling something and growing something together. Let's talk a little bit about WeSowWeGrow, because, you know,
Sorry.
What just happened? Live. What is it?
I just got stung by another fucking wasp. Sorry, guys. Ah!
Oh no. Oh no.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Ooh, that really hurts.
This is okay. So this highlights the dangers of gardening. You
this
never
is,
knew
this
that
is farming. Yeah, this
it's an
is farming.
extreme sport.
I have a scar on my leg right before I left for my trip, and it's still there. And this darn thing got me again, right in the same spot.
I love how you think it's the same wasp. Like it's the same guy that got you before.
He's telling his
family. It is. You know okay. It is. They talk.
So somebody asked in the Q&A here, what was your first plant that you ever grew? What Natasha, what was the first plant you ever grew, and how did that go?
Ooh, let me, that's going back. I believe it was a broccoli plant that I let go too long because I didn't know when to harvest it. So I got enthralled with how pretty it looked and didn't realize that you're supposed to, at that point in time, you harvest a broccoli head, the crown, when it's tightly compacted. You don't let it spread apart, because if it spreads apart, then it's going to go to seed, it's going to flower. And I kept letting it grow and grow up. And needless to say, we ate it still, because I'm stubborn. We've established that. But it did not taste the way that regular broccoli tastes. But that was the first thing that I probably grew something that was harder. That shouldn't have been the first thing that I grew at all. Right. It was broccoli.
Which we need to get to. We need to say, like, let's give people some ideas of things they could grow at home. But Jen, what was the first plant you ever grew, and how did that go?
Let's see. We first started with, I think, squash. It actually went really well. For whatever reason, it did really well here in Texas. And also, what else did we grow? Squash, and I want to say pole beans, but I think they're separate seasons. So
right. So squash is really prolific. So what are some plants or some vegetables or fruits that people could grow more easily than others that you could recommend?
I think it depends on your zone, right?
Yes, right. It does. All of you folks down south, down south are it's hot. So a lot of the stuff that you have to grow is going to have to love that extra heat. Okra is one of those things that really loves heat and does very well with heat. But I'll show you actually. Yeah. Do you have okra, Jen?
Oh yeah, girl.
Or wait, you're just gonna show us the okra now. This is like live and in person.
We can show some okra. Let me see if I can switch my camera around.
Oh, good. We need a dueling okra.
I'm sure mine don't compare.
What in oak? There it is. Sorry about that.
Holy moly.
So here are okra plants.
Oh, wow.
See, that's amazing. Oh my God.
Wow.
Whoa.
And we have, this is burgundy okra, and this one actually is probably too long, so I'm going to come and cut that off. And then we have crimson spineless. So these do very well, and okra can grow about 1 inch a day when it's super hot outside. It loves hot weather, and you want to make sure that you're growing. If you're in a cooler climate, you're going to have to wait to do okra until you're in the middle of summer, because it loves hot weather. But if you're looking for things to grow that are in smaller spaces, radishes are very good. You can do some lettuces as long as it's cooler. What else? You don't want to do lettuce when it's hot, because it does that. These are some farming fails. This is too high, and they're going to, it's what we call bolting, and the leaf is very bitter.
Oh my God, wait, is this happening to mine too? Is that the same thing?
You need to cut yours.
Yep.
Wait, I have to cut this down?
That's that's like the mistake that I think everyone makes, and I know that I made it, is that it looks so beautiful, and then
you don't want to cut it. You don't want to touch it.
And the bigger the better, and then it's the actual, there's a sweet spot.
Yep. So you'll notice if I rip this, you'll see the white. Kind of like, that is bitter. So that is what they send out, and the plant produces this the older that it gets. You want to get these when they're really short. This is romaine. I should have cut it with when it was a full stalk, but I didn't because I got lazy. That's pure laziness.
That's
on my part.
Yeah, your massive farm and you're lazy. Yeah, right, Natasha, sure.
That's exactly what we think of.
This is straight laziness. So this will go to my chickens. They'll eat it and they'll be fine with it. But yeah, radishes are good if you want to do something quick. The beans are good, bush beans, because they don't climb at all, so you don't have to worry about them binding or needing to vine anywhere. Or you can start with something like basil or rosemary or cilantro, which will go to coriander. If it grows too fast, it'll bolt to coriander. But any squash that you get is probably going to do what these squash varieties are doing. So don't plant squash in your house, because it's going to do things
explode.
Like this. Yep.
Yeah. We've got a question here for you, Jen. Do you plant anything with Jared, or could Jared plant something if you guys work together? Like, has he ever tried to grow something, or are you just purely like, please don't go in the garden?
No, I would love it if he was in the garden with me. He's in here a lot.
Eating it.
Eating it, and then he's really good with the chickens. He lets them out every morning, and then he locks them up at night.
Nice.
Yeah. He's good at that. But
so he's a chicken wrangler is what I'm hearing you say.
He is a chicken wrangler. We tried to take him for walks once or twice and try to tame our chickens. It didn't work out.
Wait, taking the chickens for a walk?
Yeah, so have you seen these subscription boxes, Natasha, for like, what's the one? There's Backyard, which is great, and they sell all these like cool gimmicks, and then I subscribed to a box called Henny and Roo, and which is like a great subscription box if you have chickens. And they sent us what is it called? The not a collar, but a
chicken leash. A
chicken leash, essentially.
Oh my God.
To walk our chickens. So that was fun, watching my husband try and figure that out. But yeah, he's really good helping kill the wasps, which is, he's not here right now, which is probably why I got stung.
Right.
He's good. He's actually really good for like the tactical, like those kind of things. Muscle. Yeah. He has the muscle for sure.
Yeah. Wait, Natasha, you've met Jared. He's a smaller individual.
Jared clears me by like 7 feet.
Poor Natasha, he gave her the biggest bear hug.
Jared gave me a very huge hug. And for those of you who are on the Zoom and you're wondering why the heck that's funny, I am not a random hugger. I don't randomly hug folks. And I know people are like, but Jared's famous. Oh, yeah, I still don't.
And
but now that he's hugged me, it's kind of become a thing. So we will probably recreate. I'm looking at monarch butterflies have sex right now. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is a different kind of stream now, Natasha.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah,
Yes.
it became pornographic.
Exactly.
It did. And my children often point out animals doing it everywhere whenever we come outside. So
when you have a very fertile farm,
it is what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, let's switch over to talk about the tactical nature of planting. So let me actually if our moderator could put up the item for a moment, where this is the item that's going to happen, but we want to talk about the ins and outs of it, because Natasha and Jen, you guys have come together to do a challenge around growing something from home, right? So the challenge for Gishers this is item number 4, and it's updated on the list now. Plant the seeds of change to end food waste. Grow something from your food scraps or waste in your kitchen. Show us you planting it, and then if there's anything that sprouts or progress by the end of the week, show that. And you should upcycle something. So find something to plant it in that's unexpected, obviously. I'm paraphrasing, but make sure you post it with hashtag WeSowWeGrow so we can support Natasha and her organization. It's just WeSowWeGrow.org, right, Natasha?
Mm-hmm.
Great. But make sure that you use the hashtag so that everyone can see that. But so folks, what is something that we should grow right now? What should they be growing in a short space of time using something that already exists? Like is it an avocado pit? Is it like, what are we talking about? What can grow?
You can do a lettuce.
Onions are pretty quick, right?
Onions are quick. Lettuce, green onions are very quick as well. But if you do go get a romaine lettuce and you save about 2 inches off the bottom, you can put that in soil or water and it'll start sprouting again, and you can use those leaves all over.
But don't let it get this tall, right?
No, don't let it get that tall.
But it's
so
beautiful.
You and I are matching. Yeah, we're matching lettuce buddies over here, Charlie.
At least you can grow it. So
yeah, that's a good one to grow from scraps. Onions for sure. What else can we give you all? And it's by the end of the week you want it to happen?
Well, I think people should think about growing stuff more long term, but they're just going to take a picture of whatever they're able to do.
What about scraps?
Oh yeah, you could do microgreens.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, tell us about that.
Those are like the seeds of a bunch of seeds of like broccoli microgreens. You can do alfalfa sprouts. You can do bean sprouts.
They're great
pea sprouts. Yep. And all of that stuff, you plant them densely. So there's no spacing or anything for that. You plant them densely and they continue to grow. So you cut them down and you can use them in your salads.
So, this is an international hunt. There's people from over 100 countries playing this year. Can we just go through the climates really briefly and maybe one item you think you could grow within those climates? Because I think, if you're in Australia right now, it's freezing. If you're in Austin, you're a human puddle. Jen, right? It's 105 there.
Melting.
Yep.
Yeah.
Can we just go through that real quick?
You can grow all of these in your house, so you don't have to worry about taking them out at all.
Great.
And if you're doing sprouts, it needs to be a shallow pan anyway. So if you're bringing things home from the grocery store, I don't know how packaging is outside of the US, but we tend to overpackage a lot of stuff. You can think about using blueberry or fruit canisters that come in those shells, the clam shells, and you can line it with very damp paper towels or a damp cloth, and you can plant the seeds right there and they'll pop up. So
you know what I did?
Reusing,
I had a fish tank. I think I got it from Target actually. It wasn't, if you want to go like just quick, easy, you can, like what Natasha's saying, you could get a glass jar, you can get the containers from grocery store and stuff like that. But there's also this kind of nifty thing where if you also want to get a new pet too, you can get this like fish tank, and it's a hydroponic system where the fish is in the tank, and then on top of it, you have these rocks, and then you put your microgreens on top, and they sprout within a couple of days, and it's kind of fun because they symbiotically.
Yep. The fish waste awesome. Helps provide the nutrients.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
So, well, great, guys. Thank you so much for coming on here and helping people grow something. Like you said, you can grow all sorts of things from inside your home. You just have to find the right materials. It sounds like sprouts are a good idea, maybe herbs, those kinds of things. But we just, I think if you wouldn't mind just telling people where they can go, Natasha, for WeSowWeGrow and what the events that you have coming up.
So we are on Instagram at WeSowWeGrow, and we're also on Facebook at WeSowWeGrow. We have a private, closed. It's a closed group, but anybody can join as long as you're not the bad type of weird. We don't want the bad type of weird.
Yeah, we need the good type for sure.
Yeah, we accept all other weird, but not the creepy. So you just have to answer.
Is that why I was
question.
denied?
You're not supposed to tell our personal business, Jen. So you can go there, and then we're on Twitter as well. And next month, the 25th through the 27th, we have our first We Grow, We Sow Summit. So we will teach you how to go from seed to table. So we're going to teach you how to pick seed. We're going to teach you how to plant it, the proper ways to plan for your house size, and then how to build raised beds, or if you need to use containers, or if you can plant in ground. And then we'll teach you how to process what you grow. So that's pickling,
incredible.
Fermenting, canning, cooking. We want you to make more than zucchini bread with your zucchini.
I love it. Go sign up for that. So I'm going to sign up for that summit. I need help. Look at this lettuce. This is garbage. I don't know what I'm doing. I need your help.
Now chop it up and compost that. That's what you can do before it goes, before it flowers.
I'm not even I'm literally composting whatever. It doesn't seem like it's working. I keep tumbling it. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just going to put myself in there at this point. But you're not supposed to put meat and stuff, right? So I shouldn't do that.
No meat, no dairy, no oil.
Got it. Okay. But yeah, you've got the summit coming up. Also, go check out Jen's blog, nowandjen.com. Yes. There's a blog post there with a lot of great resources that Natasha and Jen have provided, including seeds from a Black-owned business that you can buy. There's places you can get lots of stuff. Also, Natasha, you pointed out that again, in terms of accessibility, you can always go to the colleges and ask them if they have any seeds, like agriculture schools, things like that.
So every state has a state school that has an extension program. And not only do they provide you with seeds that you may want, and typically they're really quick, like lettuces or things like that. They also have master gardeners and master urban farmers on hand to answer any questions. So if you don't get an answer from me, from tweeting me, and I'm on Twitter a lot, guys. But if you don't get an answer in the way that you want it, or in the time frame that you want it, you can often call them or tweet them and connect with them, and they are a very, very good resource to have in your back pocket.
But here you are. If I can do it, everyone watching can do it, because I am not good at this, and I've learned a lot from both of you, so I appreciate it. Go check out WeSowWeGrow.org. Go check out that summit. I'm going to check it out, and then go check out nowandjen.com for that post, because they're doing the challenge, and then we're going to back it up with GISH. So get out there and get growing. Anything else you guys want to say before we end off here?
Oh, I always sign off with keep sowing and growing. You all are doing magnificent. And if it keeps you from hurting anybody, it's super important. And with the world the way that it is right now, we don't want to hurt anybody.
No, yeah. Jen, anything, any wise words of wisdom?
She's like, not really.
She's
no,
like,
I gotta end on that. No, I hate those mother.
Oh, are we about to start on our hatred of animals?
Well,
yeah,
we can
go there too.
This is GISH After Dark, guys. This is GISH After Dark. It's another stream where animals are doing it, and you're talking trash.
No,
about
not just that. If you are growing outside, if you do decide to grow outside, just know that if you're growing good food, the animals are going to love it too. So be prepared for that.
True. Well, thank you both. Thank you, Natasha. Thank you, Jen, for coming on. You've definitely gotten people to want to grow, and I appreciate. Are you? Sorry. very needy right now. But thank you so much for showing up and helping us with this. And also go investigate intersectional environmentalism. And there are a lot of great accounts. I know, Jen, you've put up a number of them. Natasha, you are constantly spotlighting great people who are talking about this important issue of environmentalism and sustainability not being something that is just for a privileged few. It should be for everybody from all walks of life that look different and come with different points of view. It's very important. So please go follow Natasha, go follow Jen, go check everything out. And thank you very much, everybody, for coming. Thank you to our guests. Real quick, tomorrow we will be, there's a game night with a large number of people from the cast of Supernatural. And it's game night, but it's actually during the day. So it's a little weird, but that's pretty much par for the course for GISH. And there's also a Lego build that we're gonna be doing with a really cool guest and 2 master model builders from Lego. So come on down, bring your Legos if you have them. If you don't, that's totally fine too. And don't forget the item number 4, plant these seeds and get growing. There's a lot of resources, and Natasha and Jen both have some great stuff to share. So thank you, everybody.
Thanks.
Bye.